How do you handle sessions of slow growth or rejection? And what mindset helps you thrive during such times?
When we say slow growth, I ask, what does that even mean?
Okay, you're talking to the audience.
Oh, okay. Hey, audience people, TECplus audience. Slow growth, what does that really mean? Slow growth or rejection? And what mindset helps me go through these phases? So let's start with the mindset. If I say to you that to travel from Lagos to Port Harcourt by road will be 13 hours, when it is 4 hours and you've been on the road and you start saying, we never reach, who has the challenge? Is it you or is it the driver? When you've gotten to 8.5 hours, you go, driver, you say we never still reach. The driver say, but I tell you, say na 13 hours now. It's just 8, meaning how many more hours to go? 5. That person who complains about, we never reach, we never tire, that's the person with the mindset that will not allow them enjoy the journey. Because there's something I always say, and I'm sure you've heard it before, that the destination is the journey itself. It's not just about going to Port Harcourt. It's about what happens on the way while going to Port Harcourt. In that same bus or on that same bus where someone is complaining, we never reach, somebody else has responded to all their emails. They've typed out all their Instagram content or social media content. They've done their school assignments. They've maximized the 13-hour trip, being productive, not wondering we never reach. So in business, when there are times of slow growth or go slow, just like you will experience between Lagos and Port Harcourt, there are places you will get into that the road will be bad and there are bumps. Or they will say, trailer fall for road, so there's traffic, right? What you do with that moment as a passenger on the bus, I can tell you, it's almost directly proportional to what you will do in life when you go through times of. So I ask you sitting there right now, if you were on that bus and you got into times of go slow, what would you do? Would you be one of those who will say, now wow, this Nigeria, Tinubu, Buhari, Obasanjo, hey, they don't know, the road is good, the road is no good, the road is bad? Or you'll be one of those who would put music in the ear, sit down or go and catch up on all your TikTok that you had missed because you've been busy, or that's the time you say, okay, no, let me call this my clients that I had missed talking to. Somebody say, but auntie, supposing there's no network, there are some people who would have saved things on Netflix when they were in the place of network because they knew that at some point on that trip, they could have no network. So that's when they're able to watch things downloaded from YouTube or Netflix. It's the same thing with life. So what are some things you can do when you're experiencing times of slow growth? Number one, you can get more education, attend more courses, attend more programs. And I'm not saying they must be paid. They could be free. They could be, at that time, that's when you say, I don't really have a lot of money. So where are all the free courses that I can attend for when my clients start looking for me? So that's one thing. Another thing you can do is you could do what I call scaffolding, which is a supplementary business you do for money. For example, as a master of ceremonies, there were times when I worked as a makeup artist because it was, as it were, quick money. That was not my main focus, but that was bringing money to me whilst my MC business was still balancing, as it were. I joined network marketing companies and I did well. So I supplemented. I've written books. Some of the books I wrote were to transfer knowledge, but they were also to bring in money. And there were times I created other products besides my normal offerings because there were periods of slow growth, as it were. There was a time I remember I was so broke. I don't think there was more than 40 or 50K in my account. And I was like, what's going on? Jobs hadn't come in. I just created a 5-hour training program to hold in Port Harcourt. If you're looking for how to improve your speaking, your this, your that, and I sent it to people. I think that was on BBM Messenger then. And quite a number of people responded. At that training, we had 17 individuals. We sold it at, I think, 10,000 or 20,000. And so that was me earning my money for the day. Maybe it was a Monday. I said it was going to happen the next week, Tuesday. People paid, they came in. We're thinking of how to maximize, not thinking of, wahala, problem. You get me? Say yeah. Next question.
How do you stay relevant and sustain a long-term career as a speaker or trainer in Nigeria and beyond?
How have I maintained my 17-year plus career? That's a very direct question to me because I'm not speaking from textbooks. Number one, I have refreshed my knowledge per time. I have stayed on top of the trends in my industry. What's new? What's to be done? How do I present on stage now that is fresh? So I've been attending programs, courses, finding material online. I've bought books. My goodness. There are very few people that I know have invested in short courses than myself or as myself. I'm always investing in my knowledge because I'm staying on top of my game, and that has kept me relevant. Number two is the use of social media. I solve a lot of problems on social media. I post videos, I post content. I'm intentional about the kinds of content I put there that keep me top of mind before my clients, potential clients, and people I call evangelists. Some people like you. Some of you may not be able to afford my services today, but because I have solved some problems for you, maybe from my YouTube or from my Instagram. Guess what? You tell other people about me, even without my asking. So you have become evangelists. So I'm feeding the different categories of stakeholders that I have. Some of us are only putting out content for our clients. Remember, some people will become your clients 7 years from today, not today. There are some of you that because of whatever reason, including economics, you can't pay for my services today. But guess what? In 6 years' time, you will, because you'll be economically empowered and I will still have solutions for you. But imagine if I hadn't created a solution for you now, you may not buy from me then. So staying relevant is about thinking through all your stakeholders and providing resources, what we call content, that are consumable by these different stakeholders. From my YouTube, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, there are different categories of people that are consuming. And therefore, I stay relevant because they are still getting their problems solved. So staying relevant is majorly about solving problems and using the tools available like social media to show that your problems or that your solutions are still relevant to people's problems. Is there a third one I would add? Yes. Speaking at events like this, you see, accepting the right kinds of speaking engagements, because of course you've also built a wonderful pool of people around you, including Justina, Anurika, Godwin, Jag. If I hadn't kept you in my space all these years, it might be difficult for me to connect with her now to speak at this program. She might think that she's the one benefiting and you are the ones benefiting. But guess what? I am also benefiting because I have solved problems on this platform and therefore I have refreshed relevance. And for those of you who may never have met me before or encountered me, all of a sudden, now you know me. And what has happened? You will follow me. You will talk about my solutions. You would even pay for my services. That's how to stay relevant. I've given three ways.
Or how can one confidently communicate his or her ideas, especially in rooms where the person feels intimidated or underqualified?
Intimidation and underqualification come from within. I can't intimidate you, but you can be intimidated by me. I repeat, I cannot. I have no tools to intimidate you, but you can be intimidated by me if there are gaps between here and here. When you say feeling underqualified, it's two things at work. It's either truly you don't have the knowledge and the expertise and therefore you indeed are underqualified, or two, you have not owned what you really know. You have not what I call portfolioized your success. Meaning, if you solve a problem for Mr. A, you write it down and say, I solved a problem for Mr. A and this was the result he got. You solve a problem for Miss B. I solved a problem for Miss B and this was the result she got. You solved problems for 40 people. Where's the portfolio? Where's the documentation? And if you have documentation for the 14 or 40 people that you've served, why are you feeling unqualified then? Maybe there's something else that we are not addressing. But many times, because we do things, you and I, creatives, we do things that come so easily to us. We forget that they are valuable. So we look down on them and therefore we underqualify ourselves. It's almost impossible for anybody else to unqualify you except you give them the power to. And this is different from when you write an exam and you fail. And they say, what was 1 + 1? You wrote 4. When 1 + 1 is 2. Do you understand what I'm saying? And there you failed. No, that's different. That's not what we're talking about. The feeling of being unqualified is you wrote 1 + 1 = 2. And then they said, do you know 1 + 1? You now go, do you know 1 + 1? Yeah, I do know it. I used to know it. It's not 2. Are we joking? Why didn't you quickly say, yes, 1 + 1 is 2? You see what I mean? So I'm appreciating how far you've come, what you know, and documenting it in what we call a portfolio. That's what some people call a CV or a profile. We need to learn how to own our wins and own our successes so that when we walk into rooms where our potential clients and stakeholders are, we would remember, number one thing, the problem that you help people solve. And so you would tell your story, I help people earn money from their speaking. In fact, you refine. I help professionals who have been speaking already on different platforms for free. I now help them make money from the same platforms. You see, anybody in that room who fits into that box will say, oh, wow, Joyce, come talk to me. I have been speaking on all these platforms for free. So how do I do it? You see, I've won them because I could tell my story, because I told the problem I solve and I showed them the result they would get. That's the beginning point. You need to be very clear. When you're clear on the problem you solve, the result you help people get, you are able to portfolioize it. When you get into a room, it's that same portfolio you reel out. Somebody say amen. Amen.
What practical steps can I take today to begin a career? Can one take today to begin a career in public speaking or emceeing, even without any prior platform?
I always like this question about platform. How can I start without a platform? Everyone over 18 or everyone that has a smartphone today has their own platform. If you have a Gmail account, you automatically have a YouTube channel. Yes, start there. Start speaking there. The challenge why many of us don't start is that we're thinking of perfection, not progress. And there is nobody that is a superstar in any field in the world that started as a superstar. They all started as amateurs, yes, that's the word, amateurs. They started unprofessionally, but they continued. Before Messi or Ronaldo became the superstars, they were playing in certain leagues already. They were playing on the streets. So what's your own streets? Some of you will have to lobby to be the MC or the speaker at your next church function. Your choir where you are is having love feasts. Why aren't you the MC there? What are you waiting for? You're waiting for a big platform that is not yours. The choir is your platform. Your school, in your department, you're having a dinner or award ceremony or whatever it is there, you will lobby, ask, request to be the MC there or one of the motivational speakers or inspirational speakers, because that is your platform. And today, there's so much going on social media. Anywhere you speak, ensure you have a friend, brother, or sister that is recording for you and you post on those platforms for people to see. That's where you start, on your own platforms. I started emceeing in school. From secondary school, I was emceeing in church. I was emceeing at my friends' things, my cousins' things, and then other people began to give me their platforms. Even the Bible will say, if I can't trust you with little, if the Lord can't trust you with a little, how is he going to trust you with much? The master who gave the talents in the parable of the talents, the one who multiplied, meaning she used her talents again and again and again, the master enabled with more. But the one who went to bury and said, I'm waiting for platform, what happened? Even what she had was taken away from her. And yes, I'm saying her, and somebody said, but wasn't he him in the Bible? Please argue with yourself. I'm saying what I'm saying. And I'm speaking to the women and the men that are listening to me right now. And I'm sure this is very clear. Use your platform, start there, and then learn the tools, learn the trades, learn the tools of trade. You can learn free on YouTube. You can pay for courses like mine and from other people. But by all means, keep yourself up to date with what knowledge is relevant for your space as a speaker, a master of ceremonies, a keynote speaker, a motivational speaker, a speaker in general. I thank you so much for the privilege to have spoken here to share out of the abundance that the Lord has blessed me with and that I have worked hard to gain and understand. I like to balance the two because many times we give God credit for what we have done, and it doesn't make God any bigger. It actually makes us smaller. I repeat, when you give God credit for what you have done, it does not make God bigger. It makes you smaller. And I find that many of us, especially church folk, we don't know how to do what David did. David said, I know how to kill. I killed the lion, I killed the bear, therefore I can kill Goliath. He didn't say, God killed the lion and the bear through me. God is gonna kill. You see the mistake we made? David got into a room and spoke of his expertise. So I want you to do same. Then David said, the God who gave me the strength and the power to do those ones, he's the same person who would allow me kill this. You see, so don't mix things up. God gives us power to do. So we are doers like him, co-creators with him. So that's one of the reasons where sometimes we begin to undervalue ourselves. Say, don't share God's glory. Who told you you even have the capacity to share the glory of, how dare you? You think in this world you are able to share God's glory? It's impossible. It's not what a human being can do. So own your powers, own your strength. Joseph did same. Joseph knew that he had the gift of interpreting dreams. So he said to the butler and the baker, tell Pharaoh about me. My parting words to you today is tell somebody to tell somebody about you. Meaning you must own your powers at TECplus. You must live here today knowing that I own it. I am a killer, or I am a dream interpreter, or I am a speaker, or I am a ... and tell somebody to tell somebody about you. Be careful who you tell them to tell about you. Joseph didn't say, go and tell Potiphar, go and beg him for me. No, he said, tell Pharaoh, tell the powers that be. So be very clear. Tell the powers that be about you after TECplus Conference. I love you and I wish you the best. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, wait, let me sign out. I love you and I'm rooting for you. My name is Joyce Daniels, Queen of Talk, your partner in Speaking Progress. Whoosh!